A lot of people thought this was an opportunity for Kamala Harris to at last distance herself from Joe Biden. Did she do that?
Well, now you're seeing where both sides, both Democrats and Republicans, are finding that the fallout from this original remark at the Madison Square Garden rally, the Trump rally, is, in a way, they're each trying to chest beat on what they think is an advantage here. First, it was the Democrats clearly seeing an opening, trying to rally Latino voters, especially in Pennsylvania, and Puerto Rican voters in pockets of critical areas of the state. And now you see Republicans kind of taking advantage of this Biden comment that was very unhelpful and for some Democrats reminded them of a similar infamous deplorables comment by Hillary Clinton that, helped kind of move sentiment in the other direction. So Harris clearly trying to get ahead there, as you saw in the clip, and trying to kind of stand herself apart from the president, something that she's not been so ready to do in other ways throughout this process, as she has clearly stated she respects the president's decision to step out of the race and wants to kind of laud the achievements of the administration. But here has to distance herself from this gaffe.
Well, you make a great point. Joe Biden's not on the ballot, and I guess that's where we find ourselves here, Julie Fine, once again talking about rhetoric that has nothing to do with policy, the noise that's taking our attention away from Kamala Harris's address last night. Is this just a big waste of time?
Well, I don't think she has a choice. I mean, she has to address it today because that is going to be the first question that she's obviously going to have. She also had to address it in a way that she separated herself, but didn't totally separate herself because she doesn't want to alienate any voters. So she got it done. She did it quickly. And yes, it did take attention away from her address last night. It took a lot of attention away from her address last night. Now what she has to do and do quickly is pivot back as fast as she can and get back on message for the final 5 days.
Well, there you go. And at today's White House briefing, a bit more of what Kamala Harris, I think, would like for us to be talking about. Jared Bernstein, who chairs the White House Council of Economic Advisors, made an appearance at the White House news briefing and reacted to today's third quarter GDP data, getting us back to the economy. Let's listen.
Despite the recent positive data flow, let me be crystal clear that there are no victory laps here. We know that prices are still too high for families, making our cost-cutting agenda as urgent as ever, and we will continue to fight to lower costs in key areas, including healthcare, prescription drugs, childcare, housing, and more.
Economic growth is what the Harris campaign, I think, would like to be associated with. By the way, most people see Jared Bernstein walk into the briefing room and they do think it's a victory lap. How important is the cycle of economic data this week will culminate with jobs on Friday to people making their final decisions, if there are any left? Well,
I'm not sure how important it is to voters in this process. I mean, I think we can, just to put on my old hat as an economics reporter, it was always giving me shudders to see this overly politicized. And of course, in election season, everyone's going to claim victory over the numbers or try to, paper over them if they're bad, if they don't want to take credit for them. Here you see, Bernstein kind of reflecting what has been the Biden administration mantra for months, which is good progress. We still got a ways to go. We're not discounting people's concerns over inflation, which I think politically is probably the smartest thing to do. But if you look at the report itself, it seemed to kind of continue the trend of fairly solid growth, good consumer spending. There were a little bit of quirks around defense spending that still have yet to be explained. But, economists are generally agreeing it was a pretty good report. Now, how much the president can take credit for that, how much Harris in turn can take credit for that is up for question. But, of course, we are going to see those portrayals out on the campaign trail. Meanwhile, Trump saying today it's a disaster, economy is still a disaster, and saying that this report was a disappointment, which if you take the strict survey median that we had, maybe missed by 0.1%. But,
you can call it slower than expected, but it's still 2.8% growth. Julie Fine, I filled up my car on the way to work this morning for $2.84. And we've got a jobs report that is expected on Friday to show the lowest pre-election unemployment in 24 years. What's more important, the data at hand, the way people feel about the economy, or who offended whom last?
I think in the short term, who offended whom last. However, you fill up you fill up your gas, you get your groceries. If those are coming down, I think that outweighs anything in terms of what happens in the daily news cycle. Now, if you think they're too high, that still may outweigh everything in the daily news cycle. So I think people are thinking with the economy. But this also is a distraction that candidates simply do not want to deal with.
That's true, and they're going to keep playing the game. I suspect for the rest of, we've got 6 days left. This is the definition of silly season, right? There have been questions about an October surprise. Michelle, you've covered a couple of campaigns. I can't count how many surprises we've had in October.
Yeah.
Does this end up being the Madison Square Garden insult and the reply from Joe Biden, the definition of this cycle's surprise?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I mean, I think the so-called October surprise has become, something that's in the eye of the beholder, where in normal election cycles, which were, I think, long past, you could kind of agree this foreign policy event or this, domestic incident was clearly an October surprise. I think both campaigns have reason to point to this Puerto Rico fallout comment, Puerto Rico comment fallout as their own October surprise, but it's not clear how much that's actually going to weigh on the minds of voters, many of whom have already voted.